I think it's time for me to run through the tier list of every Warframe and give my opinion on it. My opinion, okay? If it's not your opinion, it's okay. You can make your own tier list if you like, but this is my opinion. Tier list time. So what I did was I sorted it as S, so OP as hell. A is amazing. B is great. C could use a rework or a buff. And an F needs a rework real bad. You know, like the F tier is like, yeah, we need a freaking rework, like now. So let's go through this. So I guess we'll start off with Ashe, since we'll just go about alphabetical order and just kind of work through the whole thing. Ashe, I love Ashe. Ashe, a lot of good memories, a lot of like, I mained him for a very long time, so he's one of my dudes. Really love him. But he's not really like perfect right now. When you scale him across every Warframe right now, especially the newer ones, he kind of is lackluster. And you know, I don't mean that he's like useless or anything, which none of the Warframes on here are like completely useless. There's something you can do with them, even the one that's going to be on the F for rework. But pretty much with Ashe, I feel like the major thing that actually makes him cool, there's this mod for him, and I saw somebody using it on a mission earlier. It's this one here, the smoke shadow. So when you do your smoke grenade thing, it actually gives it to your entire team, and it gives you 150% crit chance. That sounds really good, and that sounds very Colorvo. So that's probably something that could definitely save him. So I feel like with Ashe, I'll put him on the great tier because he's not amazing and he's not like so bad that he really needs a rework, but I feel like he definitely treads a fine line between these two, mainly because the 4, I really wish that they would revert it back to what it used to be, because back in the day before they nerfed it, it used to be that you just press your 4 and he'll jump to everybody in the whole area and you don't need line of sight. Now you need to target them individually and then you press it again so that he sends his little minions after them so that they jump at him or whatever. So by the time you do all that setup of trying to aim at them, trying to send your little guys after them, and Octavia already killed the entire room, you know? A Gyre already killed the entire room. An Ember already killed the entire room. So why would they nerf it that bad? So I feel like that's why I would put him in the rework tab, is only for that reason. The 4, I wish they would revert it back to what it used to be. Other than that, I think we'll just keep him at the great tier because he still is a very good asset and he's a good guy. I recommend him. Now we're going to talk about Atlas. So Atlas, he's a really good guy too. If you have a nice build, you can actually have a lot of fun with him. And the thing that I really loved about him was just like he felt like playing Street Fighter. Like you're just going in and then you can go into melee and then you can punch again and do your punch stuff. Like it basically all you're doing is pressing 1-1-1, then you mix in melee, 1-1-1, mix in melee, 1-1. Like that's pretty much his kit, is just press 1 for the most part. His 2 is kind of whatever. His 3 is whatever also. I wish that what they would do with the 3 is I wish they would make it like an AoE radius around you instead of it being a cone line of sight thing to freeze them. That would be better. But yeah, that's why I kind of feel like he goes into the could use a rework, because the 3 and the 2 both suck technically, and then the 4, it does what I want the 3 to do, but like not only does it cost too much energy to do it, so if you're not running an efficiency build, it's going to be kind of difficult for you to spam the 4, but also the pets kind of suck too. Like what do they even do? I see them running around like they're big ass rock dudes, but they don't actually do anything useful. Like there was one time that I brought them out and I had a full strength build and everything, and I just let them run around. They're running around just randomly punching things, but they're not killing anything. They're just basically just, I don't know, marinating them, softening them up. I don't know what the fuck they're doing, really. So like I feel like all 3 abilities suck except for the first ability. So yeah, I'll put him in the C tier because of that. Like, but other than that, he's a fun guy to use, and like I feel like he actually is viable if you make a nice build. So yeah, Banshee. Banshee is one of those that I feel like kind of fell off because of all the newer frames that came out. And this is the same thing I'm going to be saying about Ember as well, because like with Banshee, like pretty much you have like some of the good things about him, especially what's it called, the silence one that is like a big AoE like crowd control stun thing that kind of like makes them forget about you for a second. Like that one's cool, and you can actually use that ability on your other as a hemlift thing, on all your other characters if you wanted to. But I just kind of feel like Banshee is whatever, like her abilities don't really stand out. They don't do anything like great. So I feel like she also falls into the could use a rework tier. Like maybe even F tier. Like she's like very like in between these two. Like the only reason why I wouldn't put her in an F tier because she actually has some good damage that she can do with her 4 and stuff like that. But it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like enough. Like it feels like, yeah, I feel like she needs a rework. That's it. Baruuk. This is a guy that I always have the chat mentioning all the time. They're always like, man, well, why don't you play Baruuk? And honestly, I just find Baruuk to be kind of whatever. Like his 4 is cool when you go into the melee and you punch, and you know what Baruuk feels like? He feels like playing Avatar, the show Avatar from Nickelodeon, not the other Avatar, the one with the blue people. I'm talking about like the Avatar, the airbender type shit. Like that's what I feel like I'm doing with him, and it's cool, but he doesn't really bring anything like amazing to the table here. Like the thing that he does, I think with his 2, the one that puts everybody to sleep or whatever, like basically he's like Loki, like he's kind of like Loki. I don't really see anything spectacular about him. So that's why I feel like he falls into F tier for me. I'll be completely honest. Like I don't feel like his abilities are that good for me to make me want to use him. He looks great in Prime. He looks beautiful. Like his fashion frame is fucking awesome. But as a character, it's like, why would I use you when I got other characters that do your job better and more? Like, so it's like, why? So yeah, I'm gonna leave him at F tier. Caliban. This one I actually enjoyed him when I was playing Caliban in the circuit. I actually really liked them. The thing with Caliban is like I noticed that with his like pets that he makes and stuff, they actually work as kind of like a decoy to keep enemies attracted to the little pets and things like that, while also rejuvenating your shield. So it feels like he's doing something positive there, but at the same time he kind of feels like lackluster too when you compare him to the other Warframes. I just feel like he needs something too. So like he doesn't feel like he's contributing to a team, if that makes any sense. Like I just feel like he's just okay and he's doing his thing and whatever. I don't know. So I feel like he's a F tier also, sadly. Like there's fun to be had there. There's something there, but I don't feel like his kit is fleshed out enough for it to not only be able to be supportive for the entire team, but also for himself as well. Like it just doesn't feel right. There's something about him that just, I feel like he needs a rework. So yeah, I'm gonna drop him right there. All right, now Chroma. So Chroma, I did get a chance to play him recently, and Chroma, he was okay. Like the thing that he does that I've never really cared for was that he buffs his damage of his weapons and stuff, and that's cool. But I feel like his kit is not really fun. Like there's nothing like that makes me go like, oh my god, this is so badass to use, or this is fun to use. Like he just feels okay. But the thing is that what he does do is very strong. Like the buffing of the weapons thing is kind of crazy, and it scales like tremendously. So basically you can use any random ass weapon and you can make any build powerful because of Chroma. So like I feel like he falls into the great tier just because of that reason. So like he's not amazing, but he's good though. Like he's really good. So I don't know. He's not really my flavor. I'll be honest. Like he's not really my thing, but I can see why people loved him so much. But I kind of feel like he's treading that fine line, just like Ash, of being in the could use a rework and also the great at the same time. Like he's just like right there in between, So yeah, I'll put him right there with Ash. Ember's one that, she does great damage and stuff. Like she's able to do her thing. But honestly, when you compare her to what she was back in the day before she got nerfed and, reworked, I say nerfed, because what she used to be able to do was walk through maps and destroy the entire, like, everything. Like, literally, like, she's just a volcano running through the map. Like, she was basically Gauss and Gyre at the same time. So she was a badass. But then they butchered her and they turned her into some, like, stationary, like, user 4 here and there, and you know, you got your other little buffs and things. Like, I don't know, like, I just feel like she's kind of whatever. I feel like we're basically, I'm gonna drop her into the could use a rework tab, because there's still something good there, but it's you know, she's not great either. She's just like right there. Like, recently I just started playing Gyre yesterday, and I started making her build today, and Gyre is basically what Ember was back in the day. And it surprises me that DE keeps doing this shit, where they nerf old characters and then they'll bring in a new character that's just like the old character that they nerfed, but better. And it's like, dude, like, did you not see what you just did here? Like basically, like, you're contradicting yourselves, you know? So, like, I don't know, it's very weird. But yeah, she's falling into the C tier. Definitely could use a rework. Equinox is really interesting, because this she's not just one character, she's also a guy too, and it's a other character. So they got most people I've seen that play Equinox would play just strictly in day form, so that they could do as much damage as they possibly can. And Equinox basically falls into that that what Ember used to be category, running through the map and just destroying shit. And you can still do that today, which is good. So I feel like Equinox automatically just goes right into the great tab, because like, she and they can be very good, but at the same time they're not absolutely, like, mind-blowing amazing either. Like, they're just kind of, they're good. So yeah, they'll going in the great tier. Excalibur, he's OG as fuck, and he did get a rework like a long time ago. But his rework was actually good, and it balanced him out tremendously. He's one of those, like, really well-rounded Warframes that's able to do good DPS and also do really good crowd control at the same time. So, like, he's a good guy. Like, he's a good guy. So I think he'll fall right into amazing, honestly, because he's actually really viable with a lot of content. But I feel like he's kind of treading the line between A and B, honestly. But I'll put him in A, because I feel like he deserves it. He's OG as fuck. He's like the original, you know? So, yeah, he's a good guy. So, yeah, I would recommend playing him and making builds for him, of course. Because I feel like most new people that would come into the game, they'll probably abandon Excalibur and then move on to other characters, which is totally fine. But he's still a good guy. Like, you could still get some work done with him if you have the right build. So he's good. Frost. I haven't had a chance to really play him recently, but when I found out about that Overguard mod, that was enough for me to put him up in fucking amazing. Like, that right there, Overguard is insanely good buff in this game. Like, when you realize how important Overguard is, and especially if you're able to give that to your team, are you able to do that with Frost's thing? Because I haven't actually tested it myself. Let me see. You can give Overguard to your team? Oh, shit. 200% critical chance and 200% critical damage against frozen enemies. Yo, that's wild right there. Why are people sleeping on Frost right now? I rarely see people play Frost. Avalanche Augment grants allies within radius with a coat of ice that absorbs 60 damage per enemy hit. That's fucking crazy. So yeah, he's sitting right there at A. He's very good. Very good. Because that's important for me to, like, be able to be a good support on a team, but also at the same time do good damage and also maintain, you know, defending of an objective or something. Like, really good support on top of damage is really important for me, which is when we're talking about Gyre already falls. I mean, that's not Gyre, that's Gara. Gara falls automatically into A tier because she's basically just like Frost. She can grant her buff to everybody on the team if she wanted to, including herself, including her carrier, and then also scale the damage to everybody, and also amplify that damage and just keep, like, duplicating it by making your 4, breaking it, making your 4, breaking it. Like, basically, like, honestly, she's right here in the fine line between OP as hell and amazing. But the only reason why I don't put her into OP as hell is because when you start a mission on Steel Path with her, you feel weak until you finally get your stacks running. So it takes a while for Gara to like really shine, if that makes any sense. So that's why I'll keep her at amazing. I don't feel like she's on that OP train anymore. She used to be back in the day before we got all the other frames, but yeah, she's on amazing right now. Garuda. Garuda's a really awesome melee frame. I really enjoyed when I was playing her. And you know what's crazy about Garuda? You don't even need mods for her to be crazy. Like, you can just play her literally with no mods installed and just run around and butcher shit, and it feels good. Like, her gameplay is excellent. So, like, I would just put her immediately on the amazing tier. Because, like, even for new players coming into the game, and if that was your first frame that you got, or maybe got it as a prime or something, then shit, I highly recommend it. Because, like, yeah, she's a lot of fun and also does a crazy amount of damage at the same time. Yeah, she's great. She's great. Gauss. He's one of those that's really difficult to master, but once you master it, you finally realize his true potential of how crazy he could be. So, like, it takes a moment for you to like really realize what his capabilities are, because you have to manage the battery, and you have to like make sure that you're not like underheating or overheating, and you know, all those things. So there's a balancing act with his gameplay, and that could be a big problem for newer players. Even for myself, when I started playing him, I was like, what the fuck do people see in Gauss? Because I don't really feel like he's doing anything. But then once I got a good build and I got a good understanding of how his abilities work, that's when I was like, okay, now I see. He's kind of crazy. So I feel like, for me personally, he falls in between A and B. Like, he's right there. Like, because I really like his playstyle, but at the same time, his playstyle can be a huge hindrance on your overall enjoyment, depending on how, you know, your understanding is of him. So he's kind of like, he's teetering so close in between. It's like, okay, I guess we'll put him on B tier. We'll just put him on B tier because, like, I just feel like for any new players or people that are just coming back into the game that don't know about him, they're probably gonna end up like struggling trying to figure out how to play him, and that's the main reason why I'm leaving him right here on B. But other than that, he is really good if you understand how to play him. So, yeah, that's why he's like teetering in between those two. So, yeah. Trust me, there's way more OP ones that I'm not going to talk about OP ones yet, because there's some crazy ass OP ones that we'll be talking about. He's not OP as hell. No. Wait till you see the real OP ones. All right, so Grendel, his buddy. Grendel automatically just falls right into B for me, because he's a lot of fun to play. He has a lot of good utility stuff. When I realized that you could roll around as a ball and like stun things all day while also being able to grab them and eat them and then give nourish to your entire team, and you know, like, he's good support while also having like good utility stuff that he can do to kind of like, you know, just have fun while also doing damage. Like, he's great. He's a lot of fun. So yeah, he goes right into B automatically. Gyre. So I just started playing Gyre yesterday. I'm making a build for her today. I'm going to be working on it. But Gyre is automatic OP as hell. Automatic. Because you know what's fucking crazy about her? She is what Ember should be right now. That's what Ember was back in the day. When Ember first came out, that's Gyre. So literally, you press your 4, you press your 3, you walk through the map, everything dies. Nothing survives, ever. And if something survived, okay, I'll press my 1, I guess. And then boom, giant orb of fucking death. And yeah, she's crazy as fuck. Like, insanely overpowered crazy. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of sleeping on her, because I don't see anybody playing as Gyre, really. Like, I barely see people play. So, yeah, y'all are sleeping. That Gyre is crazy. So, yeah, she goes automatic. Harrow is a really difficult frame because he takes a lot of effort to get good. Like, the main thing that you really need a lot of is duration in your build, because otherwise you're going to be refreshing your cooldowns every 3 seconds and it gets really tiring and annoying and all that. So it's super important to run as much duration as possible on him. But once you get a nice flow with how his abilities function, his entire kit is amazing, and they all just kind of like work with each other. You know, like it just flows. Like everything just kind of flows together. And he's an awesome support. He gives energy to his team. He gives health to his team. He gives shields to his team. He gives critical chance. Like, he's pretty insane. So he automatically just falls right into amazing. When you actually learn how to play him, he's a complete badass. Also, in disruptions, you know, the mission where that bomb guy will come around and he tries to blow up the thing, he could freeze them completely with his first ability. So yeah, let's keep that in mind right there. So yeah, he's amazing. Hildryn automatically in the A tier. She's crazy as hell once you understand how she works. Basically just sucking all the shields off of people and just constantly giving yourself shield. And then also with very specific builds, like the build that I'm running, which you can see the link in my bio to my build. Basically with the pillage mod, you're able to do all this fire damage with your arcane vitality, and forget it. Like everything just basically just starts wiping out. She's not like a OP as hell kind of thing. I wouldn't put her in OP as hell, mainly because she's not really that good in certain situations. Like for example, if you're fighting infested, it kind of becomes a problem because they don't have shields technically. So like her ability just kind of like feels lackluster in those situations. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't put her in the OP as hell. But other than that, like she's very good. Good defense, good crowd control. Like, oh, especially if you throw in Gloom on her like I did. Oh my god, the crowd control is like stupid as hell. Like basically you just forget it. The entire map is frozen. You don't have to worry about energy because all your energy is shields. So yeah, she's really good. She's really good. Hydroid, he got a rework recently, right? And the only thing they changed about him was that his 3, it used to be like you used to have like this puddle, like you used to just float around in a puddle or whatever, and things will fall in your puddle, and that's it. It was kind of useless. It was basically like Grendel's ability where you suck them up or whatever, but more useless. That's pretty much what it was. It was stupid. So yeah, I'm glad they reworked him, and his 3 basically now is very strong. You can give yourself a lot of damage capability while also giving yourself armor. So he's pretty good. He's not super tanky or anything. I wouldn't put him on that tanky tier or anything, but he's really good with his crowd control, and he does good damage, and yeah, he's a good guy. So I feel like he's not really A tier. I would put him more in B tier, right next to Grendel, because he's not perfect. Especially like when you go into Steel Path, you start to realize that when you get like 1 to 2 shotted by something, he kind of falls apart, obviously. So like it doesn't feel like he can really handle certain things, and that's why the puddle was good back in the day, because we used to go into puddle mode to keep ourselves from dying. That was basically our tank stance, was turning into a puddle and just kind of like, you know, floating around. So not having that anymore kind of hurts sometimes, and I miss it every once in a while. So yeah, that's why I'll just put him in B. Inaros, oh my god. So this guy, I've already talked about him 600 times. Like this is the guy that automatically goes into F. When I think of needs a rework bad, it automatically is Inaros. That's the one. Whenever you guys like ask me what is the worst Warframe, automatically it's Inaros. I tried so hard to make a good build out of him. None of his abilities sync well together. All of them need to be changed. The only thing that's good on his kit is pocket sand. You throw the pocket sand, it's crowd control, it stuns them. But why? But it feels useless. Like pretty much his whole kit feels useless. And yeah, I'm so glad that he's getting a rework. It's gonna be happening pretty soon. So when it does, yeah, maybe he'll be playable. But now Ivara, I'm gonna put her automatically in the C tier. I use her all the time, obviously. I'm using her right now, actually, because I just did a spy mission. But the reason why I put her in the could use a rework tab is because her abilities are not very fun to use. Like, pretty much the only thing that's good about her is that she has the ability to walk through barriers on a spy mission. But the thing that really sucks about her 3 is that she can't move normal while she's using it. And it's just like, why the fuck did they do this to her? It makes no sense when every other frame can go invisible and you know, parkour and jump around and go super fast through a map. And then she still has this whole slow walk shit where the only thing she can do is roll or jump. And it's just like, come on, man. Her 4 sucks. The 1 is like half of the things in there are useless. Like the one with the sound, like when the hell are you ever going to use that in a team setting where you're going to make a sound? Like, dude, like Octavia's walking in, she's going to throw her ball and everything's going to die. And she's blasting music all day. Meanwhile, this one is trying to be stealthy and stuff. Like, what the fuck is this frame? So yeah, like she's almost on the needs a rework bad tab. Like it's very close in between these. The only reason why I wouldn't, you know what? Forget it. She's in the F. She needs a rework. That's it. It's decided. Her kit is whack. So the main reason why I use her is for the invisibility and to do spy missions, and that's it. Like there's no other reason to use her. And yeah. All right. She's F tier. Forget it. I still use her every day, and she's great for spy missions. I highly recommend getting her, but that's pretty much all she really offers. Khora is really good. I've explained before that not only is she have great survivability, but also her crowd control is kind of wild. Her crowd control can be a problem sometimes, like because I see a lot of people bitching about Limbo, which we're gonna talk about Limbo soon. But I see a lot of people bitching about Limbo, like, you know, stopping them from killing the mobs and all that. But once you understand how Limbo works, it's not a big deal. But with Khora, the big problem with her is that when she puts out her straddle dome and the things are dangling under the map and on the top and all that, like it becomes a big problem, especially if the Khora is not trying to do anything about it. And they're just like basically AFK with the straddle dome on. And just kind of like, you know, watching Netflix or something like that becomes a huge issue, especially on defense missions. So yeah, like that's why I say all the time, if you're gonna play Khora, please don't do that to us. Like that's real bad. I've been griefed by a Khora before where we stood in a 5-wave defense mission for a good 25 minutes because this one wouldn't put her fucking straddle dome away. So we had to physically go Easter egg hunting for the goddamn mobs that were dangling under the map. You know, so that's real bad. But other than that, you know, she's a really good Warframe. I'll put her right in B because she actually offers a lot. And yeah, she's good. She's good if she's not being annoying. All right, so next one, Lavos. I personally don't like Lavos. I'll be completely honest. I know a lot of you guys like really love Lavos, and you guys will be like, oh my god, he does great damage. What are you talking about? He has like control of all statuses. You can make corrosive, you can make viral, you can make fire. Like, yeah, sure, you can do all those things. But you know what's the thing that sucks about Lavos is that you have to do that shit every single time you cast an ability. So like, let's say I did my run thing and I threw corrosive all over the ground, and it's like, all right, that's cool. But now I have to do it again. So I'm going to have to press like hold 1 and then hold 3 or whatever to put corrosive back. So then I can do it again someplace else, or maybe do viral, hold 1 and then hold 4. They need to add a quality of life feature for Lavos to make it so that either you could set your own binds or make it so that like if you just tapped 1, it would just automatically make corrosive. If you tap 2, it will make viral. Like set your own little options. That would make it better. But or even make it so that each ability has its own status, period. That way I don't have to be fucking around with trying to make an element. You know, it's annoying. And when you're in the middle of a team setting where you need to be killing shit fast, let's say like an exterminate or something, like pretty much you don't even use your statuses anymore. Like you're just gonna run through the map with your little, you know, your little slide thing, and then that's it. Like you shoot at things normal and stuff. Like that's not fun. There's nothing fun about that. So yeah, I'm gonna throw him right in C tier because like I feel like he definitely could use some kind of rework or at least a change to the way his abilities function, because I just feel like it's dumb. And also the cooldowns on it, oh my god, like don't even get me started on the cooldowns. But I get it. You're supposed to use your 3 to refresh your cooldowns. You're supposed to use your 1 with the mod so that you can refresh your cooldowns. I've tried all that shit. It still doesn't feel good. There's nothing that feels good about Lavos. I feel like the only thing he really brings to the table is having unlimited energy in a railjack mission. But then again, I don't even use my abilities on the railjack mission. I'm using my guns because I upgraded my guns on my railjack, so like I have no reason to use the abilities anymore. So yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts on that. So Limbo. I feel like a lot of people sleep on Limbo. But I feel like at the same time he kind of needs a rework because his abilities are not that good. Like they don't really bring that much to the table, especially like his first and his third ability are not really that good. The third ability has a mod that makes it so that it amplifies your damage or whatever, and that's cute. But honestly, what by the time you cast that and then you go into the void and then you kill them or whatever, like that's too much work. Like I don't want to work when I'm like fighting mobs and stuff, you know? So basically what I do with Limbo most of the time is I use my 4 and I use my 2 to you know, freeze them in place, and then I go to town and I kill everything. And that's pretty much the gist of Limbo. Is it's pretty much kill things inside the bubble, and when stuff is outside the bubble, you go outside and you go kill it. My build right now with Limbo is actually pretty fun. I replaced the 3 with which I could replace the 3 or the 1, it doesn't matter. But I replaced one of the abilities with Mag's Pull, and that made it fun because that basically made it so that I could freeze stuff inside the bubble, right? And then anything that's outside the bubble, I can Mag Pull and into my bubble, and that's really awesome. That makes him fun as hell. So yeah, that's why I feel like he could use a rework. Like he's actually really good, but at the same time, his abilities don't really like sync well together. I just feel like they're just kind of whatever. So yeah. He needs a rework. So Loki, actually recently I did I changed out one of his abilities. I changed out the third ability for Kullervo's ability where he gets like the crit chance multiplier thing majiggy. And it works really well for him, but honestly his kit is just very lackluster, man. He falls right into F tier right away. Mainly because like he gives me the same vibes as Baruuk, where I just feel like they both don't really bring anything major to the table. They do their thing, right? Like they work, but I don't feel like they're contributing really to the team. And at the same time, it just feels useless. Like for example, with Loki, when you do radial disarm, and that's the first thing people would say is like, oh, radial disarm is awesome, like crowd control, right? You're taking all their weapons from them, and they're running around with batons or whatever. And that's cute, you know, it's very cute. But like we said, with every other Warframe, you got Gyre running through the map destroying shit. You got Octavia running through the map destroying shit. You got Siren running through the map destroying shit. Mesa just destroying shit. Why the fuck will we need to disarm anything? You know, when they're already dead. Like by the time Loki even finishes his animation of doing that, the mobs are already dead. So yeah, that's why he needs a rework. Mag, this is one of the loves of my life with Warframe. One of my super mains in the beginning when I first started playing this game. I super recommend her to anybody that's new to the game. But she's kind of difficult to use at first. Like when you get her modded out, that's when she's like really good. But in the beginning, she can feel like she has too much like energy problems and things like that. Because with her, like the thing that's really awesome is that you want to use your abilities because her abilities are fun to use. Like every single one of the abilities are good. Like the first ability using your pull. Like I love pull so much. It's a lot of fun. Basically makes you feel like a Jedi the whole time. And then the 2 does stupid damage while also amplifying everything into that bubble. Like it's crazy. Like if you do like max range with her and you use that bubble on a defense mission, like it's wild, man. I had a build back in the day where I would make it blow up real fast. So I'll put like, I think it was like a minus duration build, just so I could have like the bubble expand, I shoot into it, and then it just pops and forget it. Like it was pretty insane. So I feel like right away she falls into A tier because like she can be crazy as hell. She's not like OP or anything, but she's very good once you get a good build with her and you realize what her potential is. Like she gets wild. Mesa automatically, I feel like it's like a treading the line between OP as hell and amazing. Like she's right there because like the thing that I really love about Mesa is that the 4 does stupid damage. Like you can like kill things like all day long, and also her crowd control is really, really good. So like it's like right there. But the thing that really bothers me about Mesa is her survivability is kind of iffy sometimes, because her 3, she's able to like deflect damage and stuff, you know, like the range damage. But The moment that you get in contact with one melee guy that gets like one good hit on you, that could be the end of your life, like in a millisecond. So it's kind of scary to play her sometimes. So this is a difficult decision, but I think I'll put her. All right, we'll put her OP. We'll put her OP because like when it comes to like just using her 4 and just destroying shit, it's just like it's so satisfying and it makes it a lot of fun. It's just like watch numbers flying up and it's just death. Like, you know what I mean? Like she's kind of crazy, but she's also very scary to play at the same time. Like she's a glass cannon, you know? Like she's what you would explain like when you're trying to explain what a glass cannon is. Like I feel like it's Mesa. So you got to be real careful when you're playing her, but she's definitely crazy. So Mirage, she's really good. She's still good. Her kit has always been good. The thing that kind of like bothers me about her, I just don't really feel like she's that fun to play, to be honest. Like throwing the disco ball in the air and watching some numbers fly up, like it's cool, but I just don't really feel like she brings anything fun to the table as far as like good crowd control or anything like that. Like she's just good damage. And yeah, she's going to do a stupid amount of damage. So she can fall right into that OP as hell tab very easily just because of that. But she's not really my play style. I'll be completely honest. But I would still, I'll keep her in the OP as hell just because like when you get a good build rolling with her, like she's just dumb basically. Like it's stupid how fast she could kill everything in the whole entire room. Like not only with duplicating herself, but also with the running Eclipse and duplicating your damage of your weapons. Like it's just she's pretty stupid. So yeah, we'll put her up there. But she's personally not my favorite though. Nekros, he automatically just goes into B tier. Mainly because like he's not really like super good to play in all situations. I feel like Nekros is one of those that he's really good at defense missions and stuff. He's good at survivability. Like he has like awesome support with his pets and things like that. But he doesn't really bring anything else to the table. Like when you're doing an exterminate mission, for example, you're running through the map, or even a capture mission, you're running through the map. Nekros is kind of useless in those situations. The only thing he really brings to the table is Terrify, to strip armor. So that would be the only thing you're doing as you're running through the map, is just doing that. But other than that, like you're just using your weapons. So I kind of find him to be boring to play. I usually only whip him out when I want to get double chance at getting loot or something, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, he's just right there. Like I would almost put him in the rework tab, but I feel like he's still good. Like his kit is actually still worth it. Like I wouldn't really change anything other than maybe his first ability, but that's it. You know, like he's still good. This is gonna be controversial. So this is Nezha. I recently played Nezha. I tried to give it a chance. I didn't really care for it. I'll be completely honest. Like the main thing that I noticed with Nezha is that he's a really good tank. But that's pretty much it. Like I don't see the damage potential. I don't really see like what he's bringing to the table really. He's just a good tank. Like it kind of falls into he's almost similar to like Wukong with his play style. And I don't know, I just find that to be boring. So I don't know. I'm gonna put him right here on the C tier. Like I feel like he was treading B and C, but honestly, I'm gonna put him in C tier. Honestly, if I was gonna recommend you a tank, I have other ones that I would rather recommend than Nezha. So like yeah, we'll get to that very soon. Alright, I've had enough. Yeah, she didn't like the Nezha comments. Yeah, I already told you guys this was going to be a very controversial list. I already told you from the beginning. All right, so Nidus. Oh my god. So Nidus, I recently made a video about him, and I'm going to stick to my thing. I really feel like he needs a rework, and it's not because he's a terrible guy. He actually does bring good things to the table. He can survive a little bit. But the thing is that the building up of the stacks and all that shit, it gets tedious after a while. So pretty much your gameplay style going into Steel Path all the way like up the tiers, level 1000 and all that stuff, It basically consists of press your 2, stomp on the ground. Press your 2, stomp on the ground. Press your 2. Oh, make sure you refresh the 3 with the tether thing. Press the 2. Like, it basically just turns into almost as if you're playing a glorified Atlas, pretty much. That's what Nidus kind of feels like. And it's sad for me to even like say this, because Nidus was my main for years. I played the fuck out of him all the time. The moment Steel Path got introduced and I tried him again, I was like, wait, man, he just feels squishy. Like, he feels like he needs something. He needs some kind of support, like either some kind of overguard, even just a little bit of overguard, just something, just to kind of keep him from getting literally one-tapped. Because if for any reason, let's say like a Corpus comes around with the bubble and you're not paying attention because there's mobs everywhere, like you're just like fighting for your life. Like, that one bubble guy could come in, touch your tether's gone, you didn't realize it was gone, and then boom, you're dead. You know, and it's that easy. And I'm not talking about like dead. I'm talking about you lost 25 stacks. And then it's like 2 seconds later, oh, I'm about to throw my tether, lost 25 more stacks. It's like, oh shit. All right, I'm gonna throw another tether, lost 25 more stacks. And it's just like, wow, okay, let me go back to spamming my 2 and spamming my stomp. Spamming my 2 and spamming my it just gets tiring, man. So yeah, he needs a rework. That's a very, very sickening gameplay mechanic. So yeah. Nova is still really good to this day, but she's kind of boring. I'll be completely honest. Like, but her playstyle is literally just like either speed things up or slow them down, which is a cool concept. And what I wish that they would do is they would rework her. Okay, let's put her in C, because I really wish that they would make it so that the 4 has 2 functions. Like, you could slow things down or you can speed them up, and that's it. Instead of having to make a whole ass build dedicated to speeding them up or slowing them down. That would be nice, but yeah, that's the reason why she goes right in there. Like, I just feel like her playstyle is kind of boring for the most part. So like, the only thing that's fun about her is the teleporting with the portal thing, but that's pretty much it. Like, the rest of it is just kind of whatever. And when it comes to speeding up, which I gotta add this, when it comes to speeding them up, it's like, why would you bother trying to speed them up when you got like Mag that could just pull everything up to the top, or you got like even Gyre could do that shit. Octavia, things will die before they even get a chance to even do anything. Like, Siren can kill things through the walls. Calervo could kill things through the walls. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it just feels like Nova's kind of losing its value, you know? But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Nyx. I love Nyx. This is another big love of my life with Warframe. She was the main reason why I even got into Warframe in the first place, because it reminded me so much of City of Heroes. The crowd control, the mind control stuff, and you know, all that stuff that she does. Like, she's excellent at those things. But the thing that really sucks about her is that she literally doesn't really do any damage at all. Like, there's what, the 4, I guess? You can charge up your thing and then just go poof or whatever, but it's still very unpredictable how much it's gonna hit. Like, it feels like sometimes it misses or something. It's kind of weird the way it functions. So I feel like she could probably use a rework, because like, she's kind of losing her value like a lot, and to the point where I rarely see people playing Nyx, and I love Nyx. Like, I would still play her today. Like, sometimes I whip her out and I'll just go do stuff, but I just feel like she's kind of lacking when it comes to certain content. Like, she just kind of falls apart. So yeah, she needs some work. Oberon is actually really fucking awesome. I feel like a lot of people don't really like think about the stuff you can do with Oberon, especially like, you can make some crazy tanky builds with him while also healing your entire team, and also doing some nice crowd control with like the 4 and just like smashing things on the ground or whatever. Like he's good, man. He's pretty fucking good. But I still feel like he kind of needs a rework. Like, I feel like the way he plays is kind of outdated, and there just needs to be something to kind of freshen him up a bit. So that's the only reason why I'll put him there. Otherwise, I probably would have put him in B tier and just left him there. But yeah, like, I feel like he needs something to kind of help him out. Octavia, automatic, OP as hell. Automatic. Doesn't, like, no words even need to be said about Octavia. Anybody that knows what Octavia is like automatically knows what she does. Like, literally, rooms die, you can go AFK, and you can go make a sandwich, come back, everything's still dead. Like, you know, like Octavia is stupid. So yeah, we don't need to say anything more about that. Protea, automatic S tier. She is fucking crazy. And I feel like a lot of people sleep on Protea because you know what Protea is? She's Siren and Mesa in one character. Oh, and also she's Hildryn too, because she can refresh your shields for not only yourself, but your entire team. So she could hit through walls with the one. She can do the Mesa gun thing to like destroy everything in sight. Like, she is stupid as hell. And I feel like a lot of people sleep on her. So yeah, she's epic fire. Revenant. When it comes to tanking, he is the all-time master at this shit. He literally, like, you just press the 2 and then you can go take a nap. And the craziest thing about his 2 is that you can give that shit to your entire team with his mod. So that is automatic S tier craziness. Because not only does he's able to give his entire team tanking, but also like his 4 actually does good damage. If you want to just twirl around and just like, you can AFK with his ass just like you do with Octavia, where you just like press the 4 and then you just walk away and go do other stuff and then just like come back. Oh, he's still twirling. All right. And then you just check on him every once in a while to make sure that his 2 didn't break. And that's it. Like, yeah, Revenant is crazy. So yeah, that's why I always recommend Revenant, especially to new players and stuff coming in. I always recommend Rhino, which we're going to be talking about in a second, as your first, entry into tanking. But then that's just the entry level, and then you basically graduate to Revenant, and Revenant is that's the big boy. So yeah, that's why he goes up there. Rhino, I just recently started playing him. I made a build. I started experimenting with some different things. The thing I really love about my current build at the moment is I love the crowd control. His crowd control is wild as fuck with the 4. Like, I feel like a lot of people underestimate how amazing that is, because not only is he like putting everything into the matrix, but he's also with his mod refreshing his overguard while also slowing to a crawl Eximus. So even when the Eximus have their shields on and everything, they're still running in slow motion like a slow Nova. And that's why I threw Nova into that C list, because like Rhino is doing her job better, because he's not only doing that to the entire like area, but he's also a really good support by giving damage to everybody on the team with his was it Roar? Like, yeah, he's automatic amazing. I wouldn't put him in OP as hell, because he does have weaknesses, especially with the overguard. Like, trying to like manage the overguard can be a problem sometimes. So unless you got one of those builds that can get the 20 million freaking overguard, then it's probably not going to be as good. But if you use one of those builds, then maybe it will fall into S tier. But it's just, he kind of teeters in between. So for me, I feel like he's on amazing. He's very good, but I still would prefer Revenant over him. Let me see. So Siren. So this is always the big question of the day. Every single day on my live streams. Siren, is Siren good? Siren's good, right? Yeah, she's overpowered, right? Yeah. She's crazy. Yeah, she's still very good. She's still very good. But when I compare her to all the other S tiers that I have on there, she's not as good as she used to be. I'll be completely honest. So she falls right into A tier. She's still very good at doing damage. She's still very good at her job. But the thing that really sucks about Siren and what they did recently is, well, it wasn't that recent. It was a while back. But they nerfed the way her virus spreads. So before, you used to be able to bring out your little, what's it called? Your little snake skin or whatever. You shed the skin, and you used to be able to put the molts on the snake skin and just shoot at it and spread the virus like constantly. That was awesome. But once they changed it, it just feels too tedious to play Siren, because you're constantly having to like reapply the virus on like different mobs that are spawning in. And it makes it kind of annoying to play. And that's the only reason why I dropped her to the A, just because of that reason. If they would revert it back to what it used to be, then Siren will automatically go up into the OP as hell. But yeah, that's the only sad part. Sevagoth, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about him. You know what's the thing that's good about Sevagoth is its gloom. So I subsumed them. I took the gloom off. I used it on Nidus. I thought that was cool. I used it on Hildryn. I thought that was fucking cool. I used it on Lavos for a bit. It wasn't as good, but it still worked. So like his gloom is amazing. Like, so if you're gonna subsume, then that would be the guy to subsume. But when it comes to his overall abilities and how they function and stuff, I don't really feel like it's that good. Like I feel like I would just put him in C tier. I feel like he kind of needs a rework a little bit. Like he needs some fine tuning because his abilities don't really feel that good. Like they just feel kind of averagey at best, except for his gloom, of course. But so that's pretty much it. Titania is kind of crazy. She could fall right into this OP as hell list. But I honestly don't really find her that fun to play because like the rest of her kit just feels very lackluster. Like I feel like they definitely need a rework. Like so I'm like teetering between put her in C or put her in the S tier. Like she's just kind of like in between these two, which is kind of wild to say that. So like at the moment, I feel like I'll just drop her in A. If they would like change up her abilities and kind of do something more with them to make them more viable for today's day and age of Warframes, I feel like she would be a better Warframe. But if you're trying to do some crazy ass damage, you could literally just stay in 4 mode, never press any other buttons, and then just like just kill everything in sight. So she kind of is almost like Mesa, but you have to actually aim, like really have to actually aim instead of having the aimbot stuff that Mesa has. So yeah, I'll just leave her in A. I feel like that's okay. Trinity. Yeah, she's F tier automatically. The main reason why is not because she's a bad character. I feel like her abilities need to be more fleshed out when compared to all the new shit. Like for example, Wisp. Wisp is fucking crazy with her heals. Like literally all people need to do is walk up to her little spore things or whatever and they get the buff and then they just walk around. They could do whatever they want and they're getting constant healing and constant buffs, you know? Whereas Trinity has to get a mob first, like get them up in the air and like, you know, make sure that the people are in front of the enemy first before they get the healing. Like it's stupid. Like it's too much work. And the same thing with her energy. Like she can do the same thing, like give energy or whatever, but it's the same problem. They have to be in the area. You know, that becomes a huge problem. So she needs a rework real bad. Like her abilities just need to be like caught up to the standard of what Warframe is right now, which is it's about moving fast and it's about like constantly like that's why, you know, Gauss is really fun to play right now because Gauss actually like really complements what Warframe is, which is running through the map and constantly moving and you know, like that. So yeah, she needs that. She needs that real bad. Now, Valkyrie, I played her a lot recently and I really fell in love with her playstyle again. Like just the melee prowess of what she is really awesome. She's basically Wolverine, you know, and I pretty much I would compare her very closely to Garuda. I feel like she's very close to being like Garuda. I feel like the major problem with Valkyrie though is that like her first ability is kind of useless most of the time. Like it's cute to kind of like zip line around or whatever, but like I feel like it's kind of whatever. It's not really bringing anything great to the table. And her abilities are kind of weird to use. If you don't have a very specific build, then you're probably going to have problems with her survivability. Unless you're okay with, you know, you need to have energy so that you can use her to be invincible or whatever. But the problem is that you have to use her claws. You can't have fun doing whatever the hell you want. The moment you whip out your weapon, you lose your invulnerability status thing. So she's kind of like she falls in between amazing and great. Like she's like right in between that. I really love her crowd control. She's a lot of fun to play when you do a max range build with her scream to suck all the mobs to you. Like it's fucking awesome. But she has survivability problems sometimes, man. Like even when if you put vitality, you put redirection, you put like rolling guard, whatever the fuck, you put any of that stuff, you still could get one tapped by something if you're not constantly running around in your 4. So it tends to be a huge problem. So I'm gonna put her on B. Like she could probably use a little bit of loving with a rework or a buff or something, but like she's still very fun to play. So like I feel like she's right in between right there. Like I'll put it right there. Vuban. Vuban got a rework, and he's actually a lot more enjoyable to play. Like, his kit is actually a lot of fun. Like, you can spam all his abilities and find something useful with all of them. So, like, he automatically, for me, falls in B tier. Like, he's great. He's a lot of fun to play. When it comes to, like, the top tier shit, I don't really feel like he's that good to put into, like, the OP as hell kind of scene. But he still brings a lot of great crowd control to the team. He also brings like really good even just nuking damage with like that orbital strike thing. Like, I was enjoying just kind of nuking stuff all day. So like, he's cool. He's cool to play in between if you know you're trying to find a different play style. But at the same time, I just feel like he's kind of whatever. So I'll just put him at B. Vault, he kind of lost his value over the years. I feel like the main thing that I use Vault for is either that one mission where you have to escort the guys to the exit or whatever. Like, you have to escort them to the ship and they have like limited life support. He's great for those missions because he could speed up the mobs or speed up the guys and make them run to the pylon thing fast and then send them out to the exit. That's like the main reason to use him. Like, and that's the only time I whip out Vault, is when I need to do that mission. Another mission that I would do is Eidolon farms, like to basically make that shield and then amplify the damage and stuff when you shoot through it. That's great. But I feel like with most of the content, he's just kind of whatever. You know, like I feel like I'm gonna put him in B. I'm put him in B because he doesn't really need a rework, but I kind of feel like he needs like a little bit of a buff or something because he just doesn't feel like perfect. He's just all right. Like, he's okay. So we'll leave him in B. All right, so Wisp. I know you guys have been waiting for Wisp. Wisp automatically goes in OPSL, mainly because her support is out of this world. Her damage is out of this world. Like, she's invisible when she jumps, you know, so she could do a spy mission. She can go through the beams in a spy mission as well, just like Ivara, but without the slow hindrance of walking like a fucking turtle. So, like, yeah, it's Wisp is very good. Wisp is very good. There's nothing really much you need to say about Wisp. Wisp is like really awesome support. She's what I wish Trinity was. And basically, Wisp is Trinity and Ivara at the same time. So yeah, she's very good. Wukong got a rework, and he is a lot better now. He's a very good tank. He's a lot more fun to play, making the clones and shit like that. And I love like using his little like invisibility like fly thing. Like I did that in one of my videos where I was speed running the Netra cells and racing through it. And he's fun. He's a fun guy. I actually really enjoyed him for a while. I'm gonna put him right into B tier. I don't really feel like he's super amazing and like, oh my god, you need him type shit, but he's actually really good if let's say like you just started playing the game and you want something new that's strong to play. I feel like Wukong is a good guy, especially since like he's very easy to make. You can make him in the clan base, so super easy to craft. And yeah, like he's like pretty similar to Vault. I feel like with those, like they both bring something great to the table, but they're not amazing either. Like they're just kind of there. So, yeah. Which, by the way, none of these frames that I'm putting on here, just so you guys know, they're not terrible. Like, it's not like, oh my god, don't ever play them. Because even the F tier ones bring something good to the table in some way. But the main reason why I put them there is because I feel like, personally, they don't bring much to the overall team. And that's why I put the F tier as, like, you know, needs a rework. You know, needs something to kind of like make them up to par to the other ones. And that's pretty much what that is. So you can't go wrong with any of the Warframes. They're all good in their own way. Zaku, I played him a little bit yesterday. I made a quick little baby build and I thought he was really cool. Basically, Zaku is what I wish Loki was. You know, because Loki can, you know, take their weapons away from them or whatever. But Zaku actually takes their weapons away from them and uses it against them, which is what Loki should be doing. Like, I don't understand why, you know, if they were going to rework Loki, I feel like it should have been Zaku. That's what it should have been. So Zaku is really good. He does good damage. He's just kind of boring to play. I'll be completely honest. He does really good armor stripping. He does really good damage with the, you know, making the clone weapons and all that. I don't really feel like he's that fun to play. He's just kind of whatever. And the thing that bothers me too about him is his survivability is kind of iffy. You know, like if you're not constantly taking their weapons from them all the time, it feels like you're made out of toilet paper. So you got to be like really careful. So that's like the main thing that kind of bugs me. But he's still great. So we'll put him in B. He's still great. Ureli, I didn't really have much of a time like actually playing her too much, but from what I did play, I really love that blade thing that she does. That shit does a fuck ton of damage. I was actually considering subsuming her just so I could play around with that on other Warframes, like on Grendel, for example. I feel like it would be really fucking good. And also, there was somebody else I wanted to do it on as well. I don't remember who. But I feel like Grendel would have been really cool with her abilities. So I feel like she's a really good subsume. But her abilities are just kind of lackluster too. I feel like she could kind of use a little bit of a buff or a little bit of a rework, because like her entire kit just feels kind of like you know, she could surf, go on a little surfboard and float around, but it just feels like she's not really bringing that much to the table here. Like even her crowd control is kind of lackluster too. So it's just like eh. So yeah, I'll put her on C. Zephyr. You guys are sleeping on Zephyr. She's OP as hell. Like her crowd control and her damage is out of this fucking world. Especially like, and you can go minus damage with her just like with Gauss, and she is fucking crazy. She is invincible. You can't ever kill her. Like pretty much the only way for you to die on her is if you fell asleep or you were like watching Netflix like way too hard, and that would be the only way to die on Zephyr. She's kind of insane, and also the crowd control is really insane. The amplifying of damage with her 4, when she puts the 4 down and you shoot into the tornado, and it just like it's a lot, man. Zephyr is very, very OP, and you guys are sleeping real hard on her. So hell yeah, she's amazing. Stynax is what I wish Trinity was again. Like, because, you know, I was talking about how Trinity, like, I feel like her buffs are lackluster. They don't really sync well together. They don't work with Warframe and what Warframe is. But Stynax gives Overguard to his entire team with his mod. And that makes it fucking crazy. Because, you know what's crazy about Stynax is that you can walk through the map with the 4 and just constantly just keep throwing the arrows while giving Overguard to yourself and your entire team and doing crazy damage through the walls, by the way. So she can kind of fall. He can kind of fall into the whole Siren kind of play style, pretty much. So I'm gonna put him right in A tier, right next to Siren, because he can definitely dish out some nice damage while also giving awesome support for the entire team. So hell yeah, he's a badass, while also giving energy regen. By the way, so pretty much he has a built-in what's it called? Nourish. He has a built-in Nourish. So, I mean, you can double up if you want. You can replace the 1 and put Nourish, and then have the 3 also giving energy over time. And, like, you can make him into the perfect support character while also doing crazy damage at the same time. Like, yeah, Stynax is really good. He's a very good guy. Super recommend him. The problem with Stynax is his grind. It takes... You have to do the stupid call missions, and the call missions take a good 4 weeks to finish to get him to rank 5. And it's very time gated. And that's the major problem with trying to grind for Stynax. But other than that, he's very good. Varuna. This is one that I'm always talking about all the time. I just recently made a build, link in the bio to that. And she is fucking amazing. Automatically in the OP. Actually, I don't know if she deserves OP. Because, like, I feel like she's treading in between. Because now that I think about it, the major thing that really bothers me about Varuna is her survivability. It's not all there. There's a lot of moments where, like, if, let's say, you were caught with your pants down, meaning that you ran out of energy, and you forgot to refresh stuff, that can be a major problem, to the point where you could get one-tapped by something. So that can be a huge problem, especially when you're fighting, like, 1,000 plus or whatever. Like, it can be very difficult. But her kit is very fun to play. Like, once you get her down and you like really are in the flow of what she does, she's amazing. Like, she really is amazing. So I would put her on A tier. Like, I'm not gonna put her on OP as hell, because I feel like she does have her downsides. But yeah, yeah, she'll be A. Like she's very very good. I really love her a lot, and she's my main right now. I play her like crazy. Like by the way, like a lot of these Warframes, I mean, you're looking at this list and you're probably going like, oh man, like F tier means like don't ever play it. Like no, it doesn't mean that, because look, I'm playing Ivara right now, you know, and she's an F tier, and I'm playing her right now. I even play Loki every once in a while, you know. So yeah, it doesn't mean that they're terrible. It really doesn't. Citrin, you already know. You already know. Automatic. Because you know what's crazy about Citrin? Like, not only does she amplify damage. Like, pretty much when she brings out her little crystal ball thing, like that's automatic, her amplifying not only the damage of her own weapons and her abilities, but also the entire team's damage. So let's say if somebody started throwing some status all over the place, which every weapon is status at the end of the day. So all they're doing is just spreading status, and then my little crystal ball is basically kill stealing everything. So like it's insane the amount of damage that pumps out of that little crystal ball. It's ridiculous. Her 2 makes the entire team invincible. You're giving the entire team 90% reduction in damage, and every time they get a kill, it stays at 90%. So whenever it drops down, you get some kills and it goes right back up. On top of her getting health regen to herself and her entire team based on this. God bless you. And like basically she's what Trinity should have been, you know, like that's why Trinity is in the F tier right now, because like when you got people like Citrin, Steinax, and Wisp granting really awesome buffs to the entire team, and Harrow granting amazing buffs to the entire team, like why would you play Trinity? You know what I mean? Like even Revenant gives his freaking molt skin thing. He gives it to everybody. It's not molt skin. What is it? Mesmer skin. But yeah, like shit, man. That's why I'm so disappointed with Trinity. But yeah, like Citrin is crazy. Citrin is like super super OP. Crazy. Like whenever I need to get any mission done, I whip out Citrin. She'll get it done. No problem. Calervo. Another fucking crazy ass Warframe. This guy, he's the new Ashe, basically. He stole Ashe's job and also did it better, because his 4 is basically Siren. You know, like it hits through walls. So when you throw the freaking blades up in the air, you can literally go AFK. And you'll watch just numbers flying all over the entire screen while things just die. And the only job that you have to do when you're just like collecting all those kills is you just need to go get your loot. That's it. You just walk around getting your loot. Like he is insane. He's super overpowered. And then also on top of that, you're scaling your crit, your melee multiplier. So that's the thing that like you're probably not even thinking about when you're playing him, is that when you scale all your combo multiplier, it basically turns his melee. It doesn't matter if he's using a butter knife. He could be using like a fucking plastic knife that he found on the floor. Like it doesn't matter. It's gonna do like stupid damage. On top of his 1 when he teleports and does his thing, you're increasing your crit chance by 300, 400, 600%, depending on like how much strength you pump into your build. And it's stupid. Like it's stupid the amount of damage he does. He's super overpowered. Like honestly, at this point, I feel like if he got nerfed, I would be like, God damn it. Oh well, I guess I guess it is what it is. Like I know that it's inevitable for him to get nerfed, because like he is insanely like I would put him on a OP, like a tier list higher than OP as hell. I'll put him up here. He's in the SSSSSS squad. like he's out of this world, man. Dagoff. Dagoff, I didn't really spend too much time with Dagoff, I'll be completely honest. But when I did spend time, I saw that she was basically Ureli mixed with Siren at the same time. And yeah, she's very good. She does excellent damage. The throwing of the freaking horses and stuff, that does crazy damage. So she automatically falls in A tier for me. I didn't really find her to be that much fun to play personally, but she's very, very good. So I highly recommend her, especially if you're trying to dish out some deeps. She's super good. And you get her at the clan base. I don't remember how hard it was to get her. I don't really remember the grind for her, but it didn't seem like it was that bad. I think I got her pretty reasonably quick. So yeah, not bad. Korvax. Korvax is really good survivability because he's able to grant the status protection to his entire team. So that's really good. He's also really fun to play with, just like smashing things down and then using like the Iron Man like beam thing. Like it's fun to play as him. I don't really find him to be that great though. Like I honestly, I would put him in just the regular great tier because I don't really feel like he brings something like amazing to the table. He's just like, he's good, but he's not up there. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, this is my tier list. That's it. I know you guys are probably not going to like this tier list, but it is what it is. This is my opinion. This is how I feel about these Warframes. Going into 2025, we'll see what happens with new Warframes being introduced or maybe even new reworks. I'm looking forward to seeing Inaros reworked. So hopefully they do something nice with him. And yeah, that's pretty much it. GG.